Evening, boys.
Evening, Rob.
All right.
Oh, we're missing someone.
Yeah, we are.
Awkward.
Yeah, Mark's got the dreaded. Are we allowed to say it? COVID.
COVID. Yeah.
He's really not well, actually, guys. He's
Bless
really
him.
not well. So we thought we'd do something a bit different this week, and we don't feel right recording an episode without all four of us being here.
Yeah.
We know that Mark brings a certain character that we all
Definitely.
love.
So we're going to cut it short and get drunk in his absence.
Yay! The end.
Yeah.
No, we've actually got an
And
episode.
on that note,
We've actually got an episode locked away in the vault that we've never actually released. But it was from quite a while
It's
ago.
one from the cutting floor, I think, is what they would
Yes.
say.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is from a while ago. So maybe some of the things that we do talk about, we may have covered on other episodes and stuff like that. But we thought long and hard about how we would go about this week's. And the big thing for us was we didn't want to not put anything out there, guys. We know that we've got some very loyal listeners.
something's better than nothing.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
We'll let you guys be the judge of that.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So, guys, settle in. Hopefully, we'll be back to normal next week. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Enjoy.
Evening, boys.
Evening, Sally. Welcome to The Chatting, your local pubcast. I'm Rob.
I'm Kirk.
I'm Mark.
And I'm the other Mark. 3 pints, Sally. And what are you having? I'll have a strawberry daiquiri.
Cheers. I'll fetch him over.
Evening, boys.
Evening, Rob.
Evening, Rob.
How we doing?
All right.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, good, yeah.
Good week.
Yeah. Well, I finished my flat. I've finally finished decorating it.
Have we?
Finally.
But I know. It's been a lot.
How long you been doing that for now?
3 months. Well,
Wow.
it's only been me. I've been painting. I've been obviously taking all crap out of the flat. Literally everything.
Are you?
Well, like 5 minutes, you've got to make it sound like 3 months worth.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because up to now, you've spent a day painting and a day getting rid of crap. So
No. Yeah, look how old I am. It's taken me ages. And I've not been at it every day. I've only done about 2 hours a day. I'm a pensioner.
Would you class yourself as a DIYer?
No. Well, I'm a bit of an old school because I'm
DI slower.
I'm an old school in the respect as in I can pretty much do everything. A bit of this, a bit of electrics. I can change a plug. I can do this.
change your plug. Is that what you class as electrics?
Listen,
I like the fact that Mark, of all the skills you could say, is electrics to an electrician.
but there's a reason I said that is most kids don't know how to change a plug.
You're not
No.
a kid.
I know I'm not, but I know how to change a plug.
I mean, painting, I accept. Would I say plumbing?
Well-
I mean, wastewater, yeah. But electrics,
well, I've had to fix new door handles on. I've had to the holes in wall. I've had to take curtains down and wash them, take the blinds down, remeasure them,
Change a light bulb.
change a light bulb. Thank you. Change light bulbs, light shades.
have you put
You
any
do
new
light bulb on
lights
your
up?
own? It normally takes a few people, doesn't
I
it?
struggled.
Have you put a new light up?
Well, I had to fix one one was broken.
Do you need me to come and check it, or is it all right?
No, no, I don't need to. No, I'm fine. I don't need you coming in charging me £100 an hour for 5 minutes work.
Have you
No.
got someone lined up ready to move in, Mark? Have you?
I've got a long list. Seriously, I've got a long list of people wanting, demanding, knocking doors down, trying to get in.
Yeah.
Have you got quite a list of people wanting to move in?
A few people, yeah, generally.
Oh, good. Have you been up to Kirk?
No, nothing much. Watch the boxing.
Oh.
Which one?
The Tommy Fury and KSI fight.
And what did you reckon?
How
He's
do
not
I
even a
put
boxer.
this? One of the worst things I've ever seen on TV.
Really?
Oh my God.
I mean, I'm not a massive lover of boxing. I wouldn't say I'm a massive lover of any sport.
You might have liked it then.
Well, probably. Is one of them a YouTuber?
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
there's these YouTube fights.
what's
Isn't
that
there?
mean?
YouTube and well, by all accounts, he's a professional boxer, isn't he? But he's made a lot of his fame, I suppose, with a lot of people through Love Island and whatever else. You know,
Has he been on Love Island?
Well, it depends who we're talking about now, because obviously if we're
Fury.
talking about KSI, yes, he's a YouTuber.
Oh,
If we're
right.
talking about Tommy Fury, he's a professional boxer. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a feeling that one of them was a YouTuber.
yeah.
Fury.
This seems to be the
No.
thing at the minute where they're getting YouTubers to box. Is that a thing?
It's crossing over, and to be honest, I can't believe how. And my social media has been a raft with people complaining at how rubbish that fight was, and what were they expecting? You've got a guy who plays games. You've got a guy who plays games and talks about it. And you've got a guy who's been on Love Island who, he's a bit of a professional boxer.
Well, hang fire. I think you're being a little bit unfair there, just because he's been on Love Island and you hate Love Island.
No, not at all. I think
he is a professional boxer. He was a boxer before he went.
It doesn't mean he's going to be changing the world in boxing because he's a professional boxer.
Absolutely not. And he says himself. Tommy says himself. You know, he's not trying to be Tyson Fury. He's just trying to be the best Tommy Fury he can be.
What they're all absolutely nailing, and nobody can criticise them for it, is they're all making a lot of money.
Absolutely.
And ultimately, that's at the cost of quality.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I'm not going to sit here and argue the fact that Tommy Fury is some sort of A-list. You know, I'm not. What I'm saying is that he is a boxer in his own right. He was a boxer before he went on Love Island. You know, and you can't just take all that away from him just because he's been on Love Island.
No. That's got to be the difference between KSI and Tommy, based on the fact that he is just a gamer. How's he ended up getting in a ring?
I'm still confused which one was being on Love Island.
Tommy Fury was being on Love Island.
Okay.
And KSI, I don't know why he's called KSI.
Is he a singer as well?
Has he got a name?
Does he sing?
Yeah, he's done some music, hasn't he, KSI? I think.
Has he?
Yeah.
It's
probably as good as his boxing, so I wouldn't probably hang much hope
Does
on it.
anyone actually not call him by a name? Has he got a name?
KSI, well, he's probably got a name, yes. I'm
Is
guessing so.
KSI his
born
YouTube
called
name?
KSI, was
KSI, he started off as, I believe, as a gamer, streaming games and stuff. Now, obviously, he's a joint owner of Prime.
Sells soft
Oh,
drinks.
the drink.
Yeah.
You don't mean Amazon.
Right.
You mean
Now
Amazon
I'm
Prime?
with you.
Amazon Prime.
10 quid a bottle.
Because I knew roughly the correlation between this YouTuber that's come up with this drink. Right, okay.
But obviously, so the story is, Rob, that KSI's been playing at boxing, which he quite openly admits it's a hobby. It's something that he just enjoys to do.
He ought to have gone on Strictly looking at the way we were dancing around.
Absolutely.
I've only seen some clips afterwards, but my God.
Absolutely. And obviously, what they're starting to do is generate a following, generating a crowd. So Tommy Fury said he wanted to put a stop to all this crossover boxing. There should be a difference between professional boxing and you know, people playing at it.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of people, me included, if you want me to be honest, that was really hoping to see a professional boxer go up against a YouTuber, knock him all over the ring, and it be all over in 2 rounds, and to really clearly show that difference.
And he didn't.
And did that
I
not
didn't see
happen?
it. What happened?
It was awful.
In what respect?
Could neither of them box?
Well, look, I've seen Tommy Fury box before. I think he's an actual all right boxer, as in I wouldn't get in the ring with him. You know, he'd knock me all over. So would KSI, in all fairness. But there's the argument that KSI was dancing around, and that every time he went in, he ducked under, so Tommy couldn't get a shot off or whatever. But as a professional boxer, you should know how to handle that.
Yeah.
You should know how to deal with your opposition.
I think it's a difficult one because in boxing, you won't get a boxer that trains to do what KSI did. So you can't say, well, you're going to have to prepare yourself for somebody who's got absolutely no skill or talent at boxing. He's going to dance around like a lunatic, and you're going to have to try and land a punch on it. It's just, you know, you're effectively chasing somebody around a ring.
But would you not say if you put a professional boxer up against someone outside a nightclub that he weren't like happy with, that he'd struggle because he's fighting someone that's not a boxer?
I think it depends what level of boxer you are.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult question, is that, isn't it? Because I suppose it depends who you're going up against. I mean, you look back in the 90s, and you know, one of the best boxers in my lifetime, Prince Nazim Hamed, you know, an incredible boxer. But there were stories all the time of him getting into scuffles in bars and pubs, and not necessarily always coming out on top.
No.
You know, so
There's no rules, is there, in that?
No,
in that sort
you
of
know,
thing?
it's
No, but it was diabolical, and I was really annoyed that it cost me £20 to watch it. Although I cancelled my subscription the day after, and they refunded me the money, so I'm quite all right without it.
Happy days. Wow. Go and buy yourself 2 bottles of Prime.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, but that just goes to show, doesn't it, that when we talk about, you know, Tommy Fury sat there in a press conference and basically said, if you read in between the lines, that he's doing this to make his child's life better. In other words,
and nobody can argue with that.
He's earning money.
Yeah.
And at the level of Tommy Fury, whether you agree that he's a professional boxer or whatever you agree with, at the level that he's at now in his career, if he'd have just gone through the normal, for the want of a better term, ranks, he wouldn't be earning £6 million for
Not
a
at
fight,
all.
which is what he earned.
Really?
For the so
What did KSI get?
6 million. They got six million each.
Wow.
Why wouldn't you?
So the boxer gets 6 million, the non-boxer. Well, can't I have a go?
I mean, I was trying to say, I would genuinely
Hello?
take the
you have
big
to
toe.
wait while you finish painting.
I would genuinely take the big toe and go on there and fight for 6 million. Well, it wouldn't be a fight. I'd just get my head kicked in. But for 6 million, I'd get my head kicked in.
And this is the thing sometimes that we can. Don't get me wrong.
I won't get kicked in because that wouldn't be boxing, would it?
I'm not talking about desecrating. Is that the word? Desecrating the sport, because I know that sometimes if you're passionate about the sport, you don't like it. But who can blame him really?
You can't.
That's what I'm saying. Who
No,
can,
absolutely you can't.
He sat there. Yes, he's trained all his life, whatever it is from a boxer, whatever. He's been dangled £6 million.
Yeah. What you can't do is watch it and then come away complaining that it was rubbish. Because what were you expecting?
Kirk has.
I think this sounds a very general comment, and I know we can't go into too much detail because none of us are massively sporty people. Are we, Mark?
Me?
Yes.
Are you sure you're not talking to that, Mark? I'm definitely not sporty.
No, but while we're talking about like popularity of things and stuff like that, I seem to think that sport in general seems to be on a bit of a increased popularity at the minute. Like I'm talking to more and more people that tend to be watching sport in general. Whether that be, Formula One's a massive boom at the minute. I mean, I know I am a Formula One fan, but Formula One's on a massive boom. The cricket, because of the 100, people are getting more involved in that and the shorter bit. But also the way that TV shows and entertainment programs are having that impact.
Yeah, I was just about to say, because recently you've got like the F1 Netflix
Drive to Survive.
Drive to Survive. There's numerous documentaries on previous boxers, historical boxers, and the documentaries on them. And
I think there's one about Ricky Hatton on at the minute. Isn't there?
Oh yeah, just in general.
I think it's one of the things with sport that you see your TV producers or whatever that are really, I think they've absolutely nailed it. And I don't necessarily watch a lot of F1, but they're nailing the backstories. And it's the rivalries, it's the what's going off in the cockpits and the pit lanes and the workshops and it's creating the backstory and the romance, I suppose, and the journey of not necessarily just getting up to watch a race. You're watching the build up.
Yep.
You're watching the fallout.
It's a story, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You're following the story
and that's what
of
people
these
love.
people and sports.
I tried for years to get my other half into Formula One, and very much got that, it's just cars going around a track, going around in a circle.
Well, it is.
I was waiting for that.
Surely it is. Surely it was in the fastest car.
But then she watched Drive to Survive, and that was it.
Yeah.
She's absolutely hooked. She's like she's more obsessed than me.
Well, I'll be honest, you've spoke to me about it loads of times. I'm not into F1. I'm not into sport in general, but I've watched 3 episodes of it, and even I found myself, you learn a lot. You learn about the sport inadvertently by watching the stories and all the past that's happened and the rivalries and everything else that goes with it. You learn so much just from those small episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So do you watch like a little bit off kilter from F1, but do you watch Grand Tour? Or have you seen Grand Tour?
Yes, I have.
And what are your thoughts?
Well, I love it, and obviously I used to watch it back when it was Top Gear. It wasn't Top Gear, was it? But it was the presenters of Top Gear, and I loved that. So therefore, I knew I was going to enjoy that. But for me, that's not just about cars.
No.
It's about so much more, and it's the stupidity, it's the comedy, it's the friendship that they've got, and I suppose it's like us. You're watching other people that you just relate to in terms of friends and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot more to it than just the sport. But yeah, I love it.
And what about Top Gear? Have you watched any of Top Gear since they moved over to Grand Tour?
No, I haven't actually.
Are they doing Top? It's Top Gear.
No,
When's it taken off air or something?
They pulled it now, I think, and it's looking like it's possibly the end after the Freddie Flintoff accident.
Yeah, he had an accident.
It looks, yeah.
I've seen a recent pic. He looks
What happened?
Didn't he crash at high speed or something?
Yeah, his nose is all
crashed in a three-wheeler.
Oh, right.
I mean, it was like what was the other guy that crashed from the Grand Tour guy?
Richard Hammond.
So he crashed at high speed.
Yeah,
that
and
was
then
really bad.
And then that episode was. I don't think it's the most recent one of Grand Tour, but the one where he was driving down the tunnel.
Oh,
that's James May.
James
and
May,
he crashed into
and
the back
he
of the
hit
tunnel.
that wall.
Yeah.
My gosh,
that made me. It really did make me just shudder when that happened.
An incredibly funny episode up to that point as well.
Absolutely.
And it was just like such a
from someone who obviously works with cameras or as a hobby, but to know that car wasn't just a normal car, it had been rigged up with cameras. And when he hit that wall, to think that one of those cameras, how heavy they are, could have come off the inside of that car, flown around and hit him, let alone the impact and what you would normally experience in a car, you just think that could have been so much worse than what it was. And obviously, as you said, that's not the only accident. So that's what makes me think, why would they now, after this accident, go, I think we probably should call it a day now, because they've had a lot of near misses, some of them of which were probably staged more than we realise.
I don't know. I don't think anybody knows.
Probably the insurance company's going, hang on.
But I mean, what I do know is obviously it's just been widely publicised about the payout that Freddie's got.
Oh, really?
Right.
Which then says to me, the fact that he's got a payout says to me that there was an element of negligence.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know for sure. Obviously, I know nothing about it.
I
But
think at the moment as well, the BBC can't seem to do right for wrong, can they? So I think they're probably looking at it from a PR point of view and thinking, look, should we just walk away from this and,
where would that leave them in terms of, you've got someone that's putting a claim against you, and then you say, right then, are you ready for season 5?
Yeah,
or whatever season they're on.
For the record, we don't know whether he's sued them. We don't know that.
Right.
What all that's been all that's been publicised is that an agreement has been made on a compensation.
Right.
So that doesn't necessarily mean that he sued them or there's any bad feeling or anything. But the fact that they have paid out, and I believe it's 2 million.
And is it just to Freddie or is it to all of them because they've cut the show? Have they sort of said, look, guys, I know we're in contract for X many shows and we're going to have to cut it short for this reason and here's some money to make up for it?
Well, they'll have been paid out their contract because the contract is the contract. No matter how many they end up filming, if they've been filmed for 8 episodes and they only film 4, they'll still get paid for the 8 because that's what the contract is, I believe. But with Freddie, how it's been publicised is that's what is classed as his loss of earnings.
Got you.
For his other stuff, because obviously,
He's been injured, hasn't he? So
absolutely. So it's down to like loss of earnings and stuff. But I genuinely think that I think there's possibly an element of have they pushed it too far, and this is what's happened. I think there's an element of liability. So is there some negligence there that which could affect? And I also think that there's an element of if Freddie doesn't want to do it anymore, they're then looking at recasting again.
And you're going to look for somebody who's like an extreme, because he is a bit of an adrenaline junkie, isn't he? I mean, he's almost what Richard Hammond was in terms of taking it to that level. And when he did that, can you remember that bungee jump he did in that Rover Metro down that dam?
Dam, yeah.
Wow. And they clearly got to push that boundary to keep people engaged. And eventually you get to a point where you go, well, how much more is there before you cross that line?
Jeremy Clarkson's selling his farm and going all in on the Grand Tour now then.
Absolutely.
If there's a gap there, he's thinking...
And that's a brilliant TV programme.
Oh, absolutely.
Clarkson's Farm.
Have you watched Clarkson's Farm?
I haven't, no.
What's his sidekick called again now? What's that young guy called?
Caleb.
Caleb.
Who's he?
Caleb.
Yeah.
He is so funny.
Well, it's memorable. You can't even remember his name.
He is so funny.
Who is he? What's he do?
He's a young farmer, and he's effectively teaching Clarkson how to farm.
So the premise of this TV show is Jeremy Clarkson's bought a farm in real life.
I'm up to
He's
speed
owned it
with
for
that.
a while.
Yeah, and decided that, hold on, I could make a TV show about this, about him learning how to farm or be a farmer.
Yeah.
And he's got this young lad in his early to mid-20s.
Is he a farmer? Was he a farmer?
Yeah, he's a farmer. He's come from a family of farmers. And he is teaching him how to farm. And if you imagine what Jeremy Clarkson's like, or was like on Top Gear, as is on Grand Tour, it's absolutely hilarious. It's such a good partnership between him and but the two of them.
Well, I don't want to ruin it, but a perfect example is when Clarkson goes and buys a tractor, he buys a Lamborghini. Lamborghini make tractors.
Oh, yeah, I think I've heard or seen something like that.
I had no idea that they did. He went and bought one. And Caleb's just like, what on earth is that? You know, it's got
far too big.
It's got tracking devices on it and everything. It's just incredible.
So what sort of stuff do you watch then, Mark? Because, I mean, we talk about...
Sports?
Just in general. I mean, we talked about the Grand Tour and Clarkson's Farm and stuff like that, and you seem to glaze over. So what sort of stuff do you watch?
Are you a Love Islander?
Oh, God, no. Don't know. I do not watch reality shows.
Apart from porn.
And that's the end of that then.
Love Island, anyway. I do not watch that reality shows or anything. No, I like comedy shows. I like
stand-up comedians.
Stand-up comedians. I like watching stand-up shows. Ricky Gervais. I like
sitcoms.
Depends. Oh, I'm old school sitcoms.
All right, let's get down to brass tacks.
Do you just watch Dave? All the Fools and Horses on rerun.
No, I don't. Although if I switch it on, it's good.
What have you watched recently that you've enjoyed?
Well, I watched the Jimmy Savile thing.
Okay.
That's a comedy.
That's not really a comedy.
It's dark, isn't it?
It's dark.
Yeah.
I've not seen this yet, but I know watching. Oh no, I read it. Or in fact, I didn't. Someone probably just told me that Steve Coogan, it is, isn't it? Steve Coogan was saying how before it was released, he'd already filmed it and was saying how he was scared when it was getting released as to what it would do for his career and
he wasn't sure how people would take it.
But I'm not jumping topic here, but I know how good he was in the Laurel and Hardy film.
Yeah.
So knowing how good he was in that, I can only assume he's very good in this.
He is, and that's I think what makes it probably harder to watch is because you feel like you're effectively watching,
really
the absolute worst of the worst, if you like, living their life and doing what they did right in front of you. And I've only seen half of one of the episodes, and I don't think I can watch any more of it myself. Have you seen all of it then, Mark?
I binge watched it.
And what do you reckon?
I think it's really well done. I mean, we all know the story of it, but how it's sort of played out and how it's acted out, so to speak, it's done very, very well. Yeah. So I think they've made. It's a bit weird that the BBC, although it's not, I don't think it was made by the BBC. It was made for the BBC, and obviously it's them that's broadcasting. It's weird that they've done a program about their own failings, which is a bit weird. But of course, Yeah,
I was talking to a guy at work, and he lives over the east, over near the East Coast, and the ice cream man, isn't it? Was he?
Yeah.
And he's.
Well, he was the local mayor.
Yeah, that's right. Was it for a year or something?
Yeah.
He was saying, and apparently, around that time, not so much just when he was mayor, but he had the reputation, yet nobody spoke out because he was so close to Savile. It's unbelievable to think that, and they say, don't they, the term they use is hiding in plain sight because he was so brazen about what he was doing.
Yeah.
Nobody, and it's just like, what? Free, what's that hospital? He had like unlimited access in a hospital.
I'll make a note to watch that. What else have you seen?
There is an aspect of it, just before we move on, there is an aspect. Have you seen it all then?
No, I've seen half of one of the episodes.
Oh, okay. So you guys have probably not seen it. I've watched it. But obviously the Top of the Pops came to an end, and he was the one he was on the final show, wasn't he, with all the other presenters? Yeah. And there's a section in it where he's in the editing room of the Top of the Pops, and he sat with them, and because we all know the side of Jimmy Savile, as in we all think he were, happy-go-lucky and stuff, and of course we now know the sort of side of him that we don't want to go into. But there was also quite a bad streak of him being really as quite sharp, nasty person, and
he was a manipulator of people, wasn't he?
He was, and it shows you in this last episode of Top of the Pops. He's in the editing room, and he's effing and jeffing at these producers, going, "What? I'm only in it for 12 seconds. Are you only showing that? I'm not happy." This, and he's storming around, and obviously that must have happened, but you just wouldn't think that he would have been like this in front of other people.
Yeah.
To think there were kids in their droves writing letters to him back in the day to go on that. It's just like, you can't even. It's scary, isn't it?
It is.
What's everyone's favourite show?
Ooh, of all time or currently?
Yeah, of all time.
Of all time. Favourite TV show? Come on, let's
give
get
me
to
5
it.
minutes to think about it.
No, because last time you told me you needed 5 minutes to think about something. I'm still waiting, and that was 6 months ago.
Mine changes, I think. But when
TV show, not film. TV show.
Let's go TV show. Come on.
When I was a kid, I mean, I don't think I could split them because they were just all equally, for me, as entertaining. With TV programs like The A-Team, Knight Rider, they were just absolute. When that was coming on TV, that were like going at pictures. It was just brilliant.
I love Knight Rider.
Yeah, but currently, and I'm going to flip it a little bit to something really current, I'm dreading it ending, and I know that it does end because they've only written 3 seasons. I'm currently watching Ted Lasso, and it's fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Honestly,
it's some of the best writing I've ever come across.
Garbage.
No, you've never seen it.
I've never seen it. But
I'm going to say, he's never seen it.
Yeah, but hang on,
You'd be perfectly suited because this guy is a football coach. He knows nothing about football.
I'm telling you.
You're lined up to take over.
Is it British or American?
It's British with an American actor in it.
There you go. That's why it's rubbish.
No, it's not. It's because he has to pay for Apple TV.
Yes. It is. I think I might be the first person to have watched it because I remember I told you about it.
Yes, you did.
I said,
Yes.
I think you'll love this.
Yes, you did.
I don't know how you came
I reckon
to know
without your
about it.
glasses, you've got a bit of a Ted Lasso look about you.
Hey, when I did Movember last year, it was a cross between. I looked a cross between Ned Flanders and Ted Lasso. Genuinely,
What you like at football?
yeah, as good as I am at being Ned Flanders. It's a brilliant. It's so well written. The jokes are fantastic. The cast is incredible. Yeah, it's a brilliant show.
And what's your favourite TV programme then, Kirk, of all
West Wing.
time?
West Wing.
West Wing.
Oh yeah.
100%. I mean, I don't even need to think about it.
Is that
I mean,
written Aaron Sorkin?
Oh, well, produced and written by Aaron Sorkin. So, for me, Aaron Sorkin, I never know it's Aaron or Aaron, but he's the greatest producer of TV. I'm going to say TV shows. I know he's done some films and stuff like that. Ever.
Did he do Newsroom?
Newsroom, yes.
Because I've seen that.
Yeah, so...
That's the one with, what's his name?
From Dumber and Dumber.
Jeff Daniels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and do you know, I watched
Emily
about
Blunt?
half of that. Brilliant.
No. It's not Emily Blunt,
no.
is it?
The news, when you think of things like Newsroom, West Wing...
Are they all American?
Do you know what, Mark? I know...
You're very patriotic, Mark, aren't you?
The thing is with these shows is actually... I genuinely think, because I know you and I know your interests and your likes, when it comes to West Wing and Newsroom, I genuinely think you would enjoy them. I do. So
I ain't got time in life to sit and watch 26 million
You'd have
episodes
to
in one
overdub it,
season.
though, with an archetypal British accent.
And where does 24 fit into this?
Oh.
Because you've watched that. You have watched that more than once.
I'm actually watching it again.
Are you really? How many times is that?
It's the third time through.
Remember, how many is it?
Oh, well, you lost track.
Is it 10 seasons or something?
Well,
to that?
you can...
Probably about 6 million.
You can't...
So I remember getting to a certain point, then they did the film, didn't they? Was it
Well, it was when
day or whatever.
It was when there was a writer's strike, so that ended up just being a filler because there was the writer's strike in America. So they turned the idea they had into like a mini film, rather because they didn't have enough content for 24 episodes. So yeah, there were that, but then there's Live Another Day, and then there's 24 Legacy, and so it goes on and on and on. But yes, I think the thing is with 24, the reason why I love 24 so much is it was kind of one of the first of its time. You know, it was like real time, so you watched it in real time. It was week after week. It was one of the first that had this massive box set at the end of it, and you know, I'm not going to say it's the first. I'm just saying that it's when it's really started. You know, we talk about things like Lost and Prison Break and stuff like that.
There was always like a big cliffhanger at the end of every episode, wasn't there? And you had to press play for the next one.
Absolutely, and the plot twist. I remember telling people. So I was watching it on TV, and then at the end of it, when it came out on box set, I bought the box set and was giving it to people to say, you need to watch this, you need to watch this. And the people I was giving it to was ringing in sick to work
to watch it
because they had to watch the next one and the next one and the next one.
You never gave it.
I think the only thing for me with 24, as good as it was, really good one, and you really bought into the characters, particularly Jack. You were like, if it's all going Pete Tong, don't worry, Jack's on his way with his handbag or whatever it was that he had over his shoulder. But it got to a point, I don't know, about season 6 or 7 or whatever, and it was like, the minute it came on, right, I bet that's the mole. I bet that's... Because there was going to be a mole or a twist.
Yeah.
Somebody in there that had got ulterior motives, and you were looking for it straight away because there'd been one in everyone so far, and you were sort of second-guessing everything that were happening.
I have 2 guilty pleasures. One,
Yeah. Go.
Bake Off.
I like Bake Off.
Somebody was going there, and it had to be you.
2, The Repair Shop.
Yes. Yes.
What's that?
Well,
With Jay Blades. Oh,
Have you not watched the Repair
during the
Shop?
day. I thought you were at work.
No, well,
He never works.
It's
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It
You're not at work.
started-
You need a box of
It-
tissues when you're watching the Repair Shop, I tell you.
absolutely.
Oh,
It started.
really?
Yeah.
What is it, that sort of program?
Back to the porn.
You need. It started in the evening, and then they started replaying it in daytime. Now it might have transitioned to daytime, but I'm sure it was on in the evening.
Well, when do you watch it? That's more. Never mind when it's on. When
Well,
do you watch
I've
it?
not watched it for a while, but I think I've caught a few daytime episodes.
Yeah.
But basically, the Repair Shop is where somebody brings in
Don't
something.
tell me. Are they repairing something?
I mean, it was in the
Yeah, it's
title.
not
really.
like an iPhone, though. They're like, oh,
No.
my son's dropped this down the toilet.
So someone brings in something that might be really old, a family heirloom.
Mark.
Or, yes,
Me.
exactly like Mark.
You mean you turn like this,
Ancient.
Mark?
No, you.
Oh.
We're gonna
So
wheel
someone
Mark
brings
in.
something in that might, it could be a stool that they've had that was from 1850.
A milking stool.
Yeah, from 1850. And they bring it in. It means a lot to the family, but it's absolutely knackered. And they say this means a lot to our family, but obviously it's in the state of disrepair, and we want it to try and restore it.
It's been doing
and
a lot
then
of milking.
they've got a set of professionals.
Absolutely professionals.
Yeah, but there's probably a better word for it. But basically, people that are set in specific fields.
Very good professionals.
So you've got you'll have like a watchmaker. There'll be a carpenter,
Candlestick maker.
A stool
a whole lot.
repairer.
and basically at the end of each person comes in throughout the episode, and at the end they give them their thing all redone. And honestly, it's brilliant. It really is good. Like some of the things that they do with some of these stuff, like family paintings that they actually managed to bring back to looking like they were 50 years ago, if not more. It's brilliant. It is a good watch.
Sounds
Bake Off.
Riveting.
I can't bake
Oh,
for.
We don't want to know about Bake
So,
Off.
do you not watch that either?
No. Do you watch it, Mark?
No.
There you go.
Do you watch it, Kirk?
Absolutely. Can I ask why not? What I understand why you don't like programs like Love Island and stuff, because how fake they are and people wanting to get famous and stuff. But what on earth would you have against people just baking?
I've got nothing against people baking. I just like eating what they've baked. I'm not bothered about watching them making it. Give me a flapjack and I'm all over
Why
it.
do you want to watch somebody baking a cake?
I'll be honest.
What's
I don't.
exciting about that?
I don't think I even know why. It is actually enjoyable.
Absolutely.
It really is
What's
enjoyable.
happening on this
And
programme?
bear in mind, I can't stand the likes of Love Island. Or I can't say
What if they were baking a cake on Love Island? Would you watch it?
absolutely.
Only if Paul Hollywood was there. judging
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
So, Mark,
Yes.
every time I ask for your favourite in something, I never get an answer. I always get a. Well, you'll have to give me 5 minutes, or I don't know, it's too difficult. Well, that's kind of the game. So I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to press you for an answer, even if we all have to sit here in silence for the next hour.
Okay.
I want to know. You're a DJ. You've been surrounded by music all your life. You play mostly music. What is your favourite album of all time?
Oh, I think I've left the iron on. I've got to just go and check.
Blacklist greatest hits.
Favorite album.
Yes. Now it's up to you whether you give me your favourite album or what you would consider to be the best album of all time. Because sometimes there's a difference. Isn't there?
Well, I could go for an obvious one, but because I do like it, I could go for an obvious one like Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Well done. That's it. Next, and we're going to move on. I got the answer I wanted. Sorry, Mark. Go on.
But as I said, that's a bit obvious. But it is a good album. But favourite album of all time, it's going to be something like something from the 80s, I reckon. And it's going to be something like, let me think. I quite like Dire Straits' album, and even I forgot the name of it.
Brothers in Arms.
Brothers in Arms. That's there were a Kim Wilde album I liked. That's from 80s. There were also. Oh, I tell you which band. Oh, Curiosity Killed the Cat. I bet you guys have never heard of them, have you?
Yeah.
Have you?
I haven't.
No, I haven't. No.
My dad told me about them.
You have. Seriously, have you heard of them?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
The only reason our college at the time, and they were big band in 80s. Well, I won't say big. They were just around in 80s. And that album I loved because obviously I used to listen to it as I travelled to college.
Do you know? Do any of you listen to BBC Two?
Radio
Radio 2,
Radio
sorry,
2.
BBC Radio 2.
I used to. I don't anymore.
I do. I do now.
This week, or certainly this weekend, they've had a theme of 90s music, and they've not graded all the different albums, but they've said the best album of the 90s they think was Oasis.
It is. What's the Story, Morning Glory?
What's the Story, Morning
Number
Glory?
one.
Yeah, they've said that is the best album of the 90s.
Yeah.
Well, that brings our guest to another question of when we talk about decades of music.
Yeah.
You know, what do we think the best decade is?
Absolutely the 90s.
You see, I'd go 90s.
I go 90s, but
Yeah.
that's probably because
but I have a feeling Mark's going to disagree.
Yeah.
Well, 90s was good, yeah. I think decades all relate to what age you grow up in.
Yeah.
Because like my brother's who's older than me, he's gonna say 70s. I'm gonna probably say 80s. 90s is a good decade, but do you not think as you guys, because I'm slightly older than you guys, would you say as you get older the music gets worse to you personally? Do you listen to music today and go, it's not as good as it were 10 years ago?
Well, I think it all depends of what genre as well, because I've got right into country music at the minute, and I'm listening
Dolly
to some of
Parton.
the newer stuff and enjoying the newer stuff than I am the older stuff, but that's not the case when it comes to pop, and I'm not, pop. I prefer older pop.
So if you were to come back in another decade then, and you could pick one of the ones that's not the 90s, what would it be?
Ask that question again, Mark.
So, for me, for example, if there was another time that I could grow up in, I think it'd be the 60s.
Oh,
okay.
60s,
Right,
100%.
Yeah.
Not
Not
just
just
for the music.
Free love.
Yeah.
You did grow up in the 60s, Mark?
No, I didn't. No.
Hey, listen, if you want a slice of the 60s,
not
you
that
get
old.
yourself to Glastonbury. That is
Is it good?
I went to Glastonbury this year, and what an experience that was. Absolutely brilliant.
What was your highlight?
Coming home.
Well, to be fair, the highlight
Using the
was
toilet.
probably the long drops. It was seeing the likes of acts that I didn't think I'd ever see, like Guns N' Roses.
Wow, I bet that were incredible.
That was
Is he
absolutely brilliant.
is he still fat, Axl Rose?
No.
Is it Axl Rose?
No.
Oh,
He
he
looks.
went- he
I
went
wouldn't say
chubby,
he was-
didn't
Yeah, but he didn't look it at all. Who else is
He was about 3 miles away, though, when he saw him.
Yeah, that is true. I was a
So
long
he
way
went
away.
Did
The
you stop for Elton?
Yes,
'Cause
Elton.
I watched that on TV, and that looked like that was the gig to be at.
Elton was absolutely brilliant. I'm slightly surprised because we all expected there to be some sort of guests that he'd bring out, and although he did, they weren't the acts that you thought he was going to bring out. I mean, there was some
Who-
right rumours
who
going
did he
around the
bring out?
festival. Britney Spears was going to be there. There's all sorts.
He's very much a supporter of fresh artists, isn't it? Up
Yeah.
and comers, and he really
Absolutely.
he really pushes new music.
But you've seen Elton before, though, haven't you?
Yes, I did at Doncaster Stadium, at Keepmoat
What, you
Stadium.
just bumped into him?
No,
we were waiting for a train
and
or
you know what?
something.
When you look at the amount of people that was there to see him at Glastonbury, I mean, it was unbelievable
Well,
to see.
on TV when they showed you the camera angle at the top, the rest of Glastonbury looked empty.
Yeah.
They were all at the main stage.
Yeah, it was mental. But I saw him at Keepmoat Stadium. It felt like, compared to that, it was an intimate gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course,
it really was an intimate gig, and that was also meant to be his final ever performance,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
When did you see him at Doncaster?
A good few years ago now, at least, I'd said 12, 13 years ago.
Ah, okay.
So it were a while back. But going back to Glastonbury, another act that was, I like them, but I wasn't prepared for how good they were live, and that was Foo Fighters. Because they were a surprise act. They were down on the bill
That's
as
right,
the Churn-Ups.
Yes.
A complete made-up name, and no one...
So nobody knew they were playing there?
No. They knew.
rumours about different bands,
Yeah,
weren't
they were.
Ah,
They
okay.
knew there were a band coming on that were called the Churn-Ups, who don't exist. So they knew it was a surprise act, but no one knew who.
So they knew that this band didn't exist, but they didn't know who
Yeah,
the true
yeah.
band.
They do
so
this
it
at
could have
Glastonbury
been
every now and
It
again.
could have been, any
Spice
band.
Girls.
Spice Girls.
It could have been anybody.
anybody.
And the rumours started
Okay.
because who's the lead singer of Foo Fighters?
David
Grohl.
Grohl.
David Grohl.
David.
Dave Grohl.
On in a Sunday.
David
Grohl.
Dave Grohl put on a tweet. X. What's it called?
Twitter.
Twitter.
Formerly known as
Prince.
Twitter.
Yeah, what do you call?
Prince.
What
Is
is
it
it
still
called?
called a tweet
That's
then?
what I mean. It's not a tweet anymore, is it? What is it?
They still say tweet.
And
Move on.
anyway, whatever that is, he put one on saying it's time to churn things up, something to that thing,
Yeah.
which kind of made everyone go,
Okay.
it's got to be them. And then when you were watching it, there was just an album, like a logo on the screen that said, I think it said Churn Ups or something like that. And when it happened, that melted, and the Foo Fighters logo melted over the top of it, and the crowd went mental.
I can imagine.
That vibe was just brilliant. But the whole thing, what you see on TV of Glastonbury is nothing compared to what the actual festival is like. There's so much more. The areas that you can see, everything. It's just brilliant. And if you wanted a slice of the 60s, you go to one particular area, which is, I can't really call it now, Greenwoods, Greenfields, something like that. And wow, yeah, it's brilliant.
Have you been to a festival, Mark?
I have, and I know you're going to ask. You're going to ask what name of it is, and I can't remember.
80s Fest?
No, it was 90s. It was I want to say something like 1996. I don't even
Remember the year, but not the name.
Well, I just remember how old I were, roughly. I was in my mid-20s. I can't remember even I can't even remember where I went. As in,
That was a good gig.
You two have been to a festival recently as well, haven't you? You and Mark.
Yeah, I mean, Mark's been to more festivals. He introduced me to Kendall Calling. That's the only festival I've really been to. I've been twice now. Mark introduced me to it. I think it's brilliant.
Is it good?
It's fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's big enough. This is going to sound like an oxymoron, but it's big enough and small enough at the same time. So it's got, big enough to get decent acts on.
How many people are we talking attend it?
I think they've increased the capacity. I think it's 40,000 now. And it's gone up incrementally over a period of years. I think the first time we went, I think it was something like 25,000, but it's not a scratch on Glastonbury, which is what, 250,000?
220,000 was not this year, the year before. I don't think they've actually released the numbers that were there last year, but yeah.
That's just an insane. That's a town, isn't it?
There's only one festival. It's not. Glastonbury is considered the best festival in the world.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, of course it is. It's the
big-
biggest.
the biggest in terms of the space it takes up, but it's not got the biggest number of attendees. That is Burning Man.
Burning Man in America, isn't it? Yeah.
Which that does look insane.
Would you, if it was free, if you got offered it for free,
Yeah.
would you go to Tomorrowland?
I was just about to say I would absolutely kill to go to that.
Is that
If it was free, yeah, I think.
But,
yeah.
why if it was free?
It's because it's very
Because
expensive.
of how
to go.
expensive it is.
Oh, is it?
What I'm saying is, I wouldn't want you to make your decision based on the price. That's what I was
How
trying.
much is
That's
it?
what I was trying to say. Well,
I'm not overly fond of the stuff that you see on social media. The over. I'm going to sound ridiculous when I say this, but the overly produced main stage where
I
the
love
DJ
it.
is about an inch tall on this huge produced frontage, if you like. Loads of people with the camera phones just filming, fireworks.
would
Yeah.
you come out?
Tomorrowland?
Yes.
Disney World? Absolutely. Well, he mentioned fireworks, Mark. You're saying it's $2,000. That sounds exactly
I
like Disney
definitely
World.
think that Disney World is your flavour rather than the festival.
Yes. Where is this festival?
It's in Belgium.
Oh, well, because you don't like Belgium. You're going to make your decision based on the fact that it's in Belgium.
No, well, I thought you were going to say America. Would I go? Is it a music festival?
Yeah.
Who normally plays there?
Sorry. Are we really sat talking, having to explain what Tomorrowland is to you?
Yeah. I've never heard of Tomorrowland.
Oh, I weren't ready for that.
And when he said it, I thought, has Kirk heard what he's just said?
I mean, Mark might disagree with me because he knows a bit more. No, the other Mark, a bit more about. But I would say it is the largest EDM festival in the world.
I think you're probably right. Although there are different incarnations now of Tomorrowland, aren't there? They have winter editions and all sorts.
Winter edition looks absolutely brilliant because that's in like a ski village, I think, and you go ski through.
So ultimately, it's a bunch of DJs.
Imagine Creamfields. So you know what Creamfields is?
Yes.
So imagine Creamfields, but that's
supercharged
with a Disney budget.
Oh yeah, would I go? Why not? I'll go and have a little look. What's happening? See what's going on there.
Well, I think on that note, boys.
I'll book my ticket. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Let us know what it's like.
Well, I'll see you all at Glastonbury.
I'll see you in Belgium.
Right, boys. I'm off. I'll see you next time.
Yeah. See you next week.
Nice one. Take care, everybody.
Take
See you
care.
later, boys.
Good night.
Do you have a dilemma? Maybe a burning question you're longing to be answered? Who are you going to call? Well, no one, but just drop us a voice note or a message over email at innthechat@gmail.com. That's 2 N's, not 1 N, because 1 N would... It doesn't matter. innthechat@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you.